Let's go right back to our phone calls. Next up is Abraham in Vancouver, British Columbia, listening on KARI. Hi, Abram.
Hello, Brother Hank. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good. Hank, I got a quick question. It is one of the best part of the prayer as I learned from Bible and keep practicing this one from 32 years ago as I become believer in my home country, Iran.
Oh, wow.
And right now I was deeply thinking about this prayer because mostly in the time that Jesus was walking in the Jerusalem or different part of the Israel, and the people was approaching to him and asking for different things. And for example, if blind man was asking him, he answered him, "What do you want me to do for you?" And he answered, "I like to open my eyes and see everything." And he answered for that person directly. But in the group of disciples, they asked him, "How we can pray, Lord?" And he teach them, if you pray, you should say, "Our Father who art in heaven." And it is like a plural prayer. But for example, if personally I'm going to pray by myself, I still should use this plural prayer, or I should say, "My God who is in heaven."
Well, that's a really good question. And let me say that there's not a formula for praying in Christianity, although Jesus did give us a pattern of prayer. And the Lord's Prayer is precisely that. It is not a formula, but it is a pattern for prayer. And when we pray, "Our Father who art in heaven," and I pray that prayer every single day, putting different emphasis on the various petitions that Jesus teaches us to pray. But when I pray, "Our Father who art in heaven," even though I'm praying by myself in the morning, it immediately reminds me not only of the reverence that is due his name, but it also reminds me that I do not come before him in isolation. Rather, I come as part of the community of faith. And that's the beautiful thing. When you become a believer, Abraham, you do not do that in isolation. You do that within a context, within a community of faith. So the moment you become a believer, you are part of the church universal, which is to say you are part of the church throughout all ages. So every believer, whether it be Abraham or Moses or Paul and Peter or you and I, we are part of the church universal. Now, that church has expressions in a local sense where we gather together and worship, but there's also this sense that we are not Lone Ranger Christians. We are not Christians in isolation, but we are part of a bride that Christ is perfected. So the idea behind "Our Father" is that we do not pray in isolation, but as we pray, we're recognizing that there are people all over the world and throughout all ages that have prayed to the same God.